All right, everybody, it's your Uncle Ed again. I am back, and today we're going to cover a different kind of topic. So, if you are a business owner or you are in sales, anything of that nature, listen up because I have a very, very special guest today who's perfected the art and science of gifting. I mean, it's not only just top of mind of gifts, is the name of his company, but literally, this guy is one of those guys that is so on it. By the way, he reminds me of this person that I read in a book called Mr. Schmooze. If you haven't read it and you're in sales, shame on you. Go get it right now. Literally, go get it right now and read it over the weekend because it is one of those books. It's a must read. So, on that note, Dean, thank you so much. And by the way, Dean is coming from Canada. That's where he's at right now. But don't say anything to anybody. How you doing, Dean?
I'm doing great.
Good
No,
to see
no
you, man.
tariff. I'm charging you the normal rate.
Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah. This is a no tariff zone
Exactly.
video.
Tariff-free zone.
I love the. Somebody said it's like it reminds them of the Karate Kid: wax on, wax off, tariffs on, tariffs off.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Hey, whatever. Right? We're gonna get through this, people. I promise.
Exactly.
It's gonna be okay. Eventually, it all works out, even though we might be going through short-term pain. But on that note, man, so how are you doing, man? It's been a bit,
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks, I guess, since we were at the meeting there, and
right?
time tends to fly. I can't believe we're almost into May.
May,
Yeah, it's
May
crazy.
2025. Weren't we supposed to be the Jetsons already, Dean?
Well, we're almost there in some respects.
Right? In some
Talk
respects,
about
yeah.
that AI. Maybe it's not really me. Maybe it's
Yeah,
like my image that you're talking to,
right.
and
Hey,
I don't
maybe
exist.
this isn't me either. Maybe it isn't Uncle Ed. Maybe it's Uncle Ed AI, right?
There you go.
You never know.
You never know.
Some people I hear are literally asking for people to get on their phones on video to make sure it's actually them. Have you heard of
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. And
I didn't even know this was going on.
sadly, there's not an argument for it, but there is a validity to it. Like the technology at the high levels nowadays is beyond, it is the Jetsons. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
no, no, for sure. Yeah, some of the stuff that I'm seeing is just whoa. All of a sudden, it just we went from like, oh yeah, we've heard of AI, and then all of a sudden it was in the consciousness of everybody. Open AI comes out with Chat GPT, and then it just skyrockets, and it's everywhere. It's in my soup. I think it's literally in one of my Campbell's soup cans. There's AI everywhere. I don't even know if I'm actually drinking soup anymore, or is it just the
So
figment of my AI imagination? I don't know. So let's talk a little bit about gifting, man. I really, when I say that, I wasn't being facetious. There is an art form to gifting, and being top of mind is such a good. I love the fact that the name of your company is actually top of mind because it really requires that. It requires, in my opinion, that mindfulness, to being in the moment and really paying attention. I've been to so many meetings, as you know, I'm a proliferate appointment and phone call guy, and I can't tell you how many people are doing 20 things. They're
yeah,
not in the moment, they're not paying attention, they don't listen to cues. And yet, then I see folks like yourself and somebody we both know, a Mark Porter, that I mean, they're taking a lot of notes as they're meeting with you. And next thing you know it, the post meeting or post phone call
yeah.
creates a bunch of activities for them. They send you a book, they do this, that, right? Send you a card, whatever the case may be. Remember the old handwritten cards, right? One of those. Tell me, what are you seeing? Let's talk at large first, and then we'll zoom in into the specifics. What are you seeing out there since you're in the gifting business?
Well, one of the longer term observations is in my mind, we've kind of come full circle, if you will. Back, well, I'm not that far back, but 50s, 60s, 70s, it was handshake business. You knew everybody you dealt with. And then 80s came around and we are getting a little bit more advanced. 90s, the internet and social media, 2000s, and everything's digital, emails, all these different things. And it was always advancement, advancement. This is pretty cool. But in my opinion, we got to the point where there's not only can I do my own research, but there's so much out there that I don't even know what to do anymore. I don't know how to interpret it. I don't know what's real or what isn't. And so it's funny that in my mind, we've come full circle where it comes back to it's not what I can do for research. It's not, I know this or I understand it enough. It's, hey, do you know somebody that I can trust that I can work with? Just like it was 50 years ago. So I think that's
Yeah,
been kind of interesting advent. And like you said, the handwritten cards, that was, antiquated. It was something grandma did, back in the day or whatever. And now it has more of an impact in the business world than any number of emails or blasts or whatever you want to call it, because it's so special. It's so unique. People just aren't used to getting anything other than junk mail physically.
that's true.
And sort of have something that has even an ounce of personality to it and specialization, it does stand out. And that's what I'm all about, helping you
Yeah.
stand out.
Are you seeing a lot of people in sales doing that kind of mindfulness, or are you seeing that kind of slipping away and you're kind of coming back on the back end, reminding them of the importance of personalizing things?
Um, I would say it has been slipping away. I like to think that I'm more on the front end than the back end in the sense that leading the charge back to doing those kinds of things.
Okay, so
And
you're being the example.
yeah, I'm giving people the opportunity to be the example, let's put it
Yeah,
that way.
yeah,
And so I think of it that way, that it's there's growing information, there's growing awareness of we have to do something different, we have to stand out, we have to appreciate people, even in the employment environment. When I was young and I was looking for a job, it was still the baby boomers, they ruled everything, and it was you fight for a job, and you get fired or whatever. And now my kids, you that fortunately they're good kids, but their generations of the 10, 15, 20-year olds, I talk to them now and it's like, oh, I want to go away for the weekend. Well, don't you need to ask your boss? No, I'll just quit. Go start a new job. Like there's
wow.
it's crazy the attitude that's changed. And that's just another representation of what's changed in the business environment. You have to do different things. I I'm not sure if I'd say every industry, but there is a heck of a lot of industries out there who are struggling for good employees, good staff, retention. There's problems with turnover. Immigration is necessary because the population shift and things like that. So any way that you can differentiate yourself as a business from everybody else, and my focus is on through gifting and strategies that way, is something that you need to do because it's that competitive out there. It's funny too that it's not, you have people that do salary bidding wars, I'll pay you 10, 20 grand more, whatever. And that isn't necessarily what keeps people. It may keep some people, but having a nice gift, a thank you here and there, a little appreciation
Yeah,
thing out of the blue,
recognition.
yeah, that oftentimes will go a lot farther than a huge pile of money will. It seems counterintuitive, but it does happen. People want to feel appreciated.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I'll give you a great example, even not just in the employment side, but just a post meeting. I was in a meeting with a real estate agent up in Napa, and I was asking some question. Hey, so what are kind of things that you're passionate about, outside of real estate or like hobbies and things like that? Loves horses, right? Absolutely adores horses. So after the meeting, I went ahead and looked for a coffee table
Horoscope.
pictorial, right, book of these
Yeah.
horses. And some of them, you've probably seen them. They're whoa, like these horses are like unbelievable. They're so striking, right? Like I
Yeah.
had it sent to her. She was blown. She was blown away for two reasons. One, that I had actually paid attention
Yeah.
because a lot of times people just do small talk, right, and then they forget. It's just a way to
Yeah.
fill space into the meeting, right? And then secondly, that I actually executed on it, right?
Yeah.
And those people never forget you. And you don't do it to, by the way, everybody, you don't do this to manipulate people. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about being remembered because relationships matter to you. That
Yeah.
it's not just a transaction, it's not a commodity, right? It's this is your life. And at the end of it, what are you things you're going to want to remember? You're going to remember the people, you're going to remember the experiences. You're not going to remember things that were flighting. You're not going to remember things that are really just things, right? It's not
Yeah.
that. It's the experiences, right? And the people that were within it. And so this is where this comes in, where it's you showing people, not just saying it, but showing them that they matter, that they're important and that you pay attention to these things. Are there
Yeah.
certain industries, Dean, that you see that are a little bit more mindful than others, or is it pretty much across the board the
Um,
same?
I would say the high-end direct sales, the
Mm,
ones that have the biggest benefit from those kind of things standing out, they tend to be, if you will, on the leading edge looking for new things because it just has that much bigger of an impact. But there's definitely, it's not a specific day, week, month, but over the years, there's been a shift kind of on an enterprise level. You hear about companies that have, fitness or fun places for their employees to go. There's stories about people who get trips and all kinds of stuff,
right.
and those types of lifestyle improvements or quality of work environments, those are proven to be valuable. And you see some of the bigger companies doing it. And that comes back to even smaller gifting. Do you have an employee appreciation program? Do you recognize certain events? And it doesn't, another thing somebody or a lot of people think is, well, I got to get them a Christmas present and maybe a birthday present and stuff. And that's great. But the most impactful, the most, I guess, the best gift is one that comes for no reason, out of the blue, surprise, and genuinely just showing appreciation. Those are
Yeah,
the ones that stick, that people remember.
agreed.
Why, you remembered or you noticed this, and that has the biggest impact. So it's
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. I mean, look, Facebook's going to remind you of everybody's birthdays. That's not a science, right? But yeah, it's the what are you doing in betweenies, right? The things that are not so obvious. Are you
yeah.
just randomly just I was talking to someone yesterday and I said, hey, because she was asking me, well, Ed, how do I like supercharge my business and even just with the people that I have? Because sometimes I don't even know what to say when I call them. I said, look, do this. Here's what you're gonna do for the next 30 days. Do 5 to 10 handwritten cards every day, and all you're gonna write is the following: Was thinking of you. Just want to let you know how important you are in my life. Thank you. That's it. Send a postcard, right? Send it out and see what happens to your phone.
And
That's
don't
it.
don't throw them in the printer and have
Yeah, no, yeah, don't do that. Yeah,
stuff up.
literally, right? Yeah, be
And yeah,
there and right so that you could do the spit test in it, right? And it actually blurs it. But so how do you fit into this whole picture? It's obvious that you're in gifting, but I'm sure you're also giving people advice on how to gift. Tell me, how do you fit in if somebody's interested in increasing their gifting game or even starting one because they didn't have one?
oh, for sure. Well, I'd say a couple things. Yeah, I don't by any means think of myself as a coach or, somebody that trains in that, but I've done enough of it that things that I take for granted sometimes are, very fundamental to me, but very revolutionary to other people. Things like thinking about gifting. Believe it or not, it's not the pressing issue on everybody's mind all the time. So it oftentimes gets pushed back. And I think at some point, to whatever level you're going to, it is something you should stop and think about and plan. Much like anything else, a lot of people just wing it. They find something, they see something, they buy it. Maybe it's driven by a cause or a specific date or whatever, but you should have a plan. What am I giving? Why am I giving it? What is the effect of it? There's a lot of factors that actually can come into play, which will significantly impact whatever kind of gift you're doing. And there isn't one gift. There isn't, the perfect thing or not. It's related
Agreed.
to you, what kind of person you are, what kind of person they are, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Like I said, a handwritten card, couple bucks, that'll go a lot farther than a lot of things. So I would say that that's a big one, is actually think about it. Don't just take it for granted. And then another big part of that is generosity and genuineness. Um, give, and this is kind of cliche, but give without the expectation of return.
Yeah.
It's genuinely thankful. It's not, I'm trying to bribe you or buy your business or anything like that. If you come at it with the right attitude or from the right place, then good things happen, and people know that. Similarly, if you don't come at it from that standpoint, people understand and they get that too. And it's funny because it's not obvious, but the people that give the most tend to get the most back, but they also are happy giving it and they're okay receiving it. And I've found people that sometimes they get a little bit, they try and give some stuff, but they not even intentionally, they don't know why they're doing it. And when they get return from it, if they do, then they're kind of feeling guilty somewhat. You know,
Yeah,
well, did they just do it because I bought this? And
right.
if you have the right mindset, that doesn't ever come up. So
That's true.
yeah, thinking about it, being strategic, being genuine, I'd say those are some of the big concepts people need to embrace.
Yeah, I completely agree. So let's talk about breadth of products that you have specifically that you can offer everybody. Walk
Sure.
us through what you have, because the one thing, and look, you're the king of this. These pop-up cards are, I mean, it goes without saying, they're incredible, right? So
Yeah.
maybe you want to lean in starting with that, but then give us the full breadth of everything that you offer.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Well, the interesting thing for me is I started with a very, very niche focus and I've stayed there. So I'm not a promo company. I don't do the mugs, the pens, the printing t-shirts, none of that. I do basically two things. One is I work with the Cutco knives. Most people probably have heard of them before. They're really high end. And again, they're
Excellent
strategic
knives.
because everybody uses knives. They use them every day. They see them every day and they last forever. So if you think about that, not the fact that it's a knife, but the checklist of things and the attributes that they have, they're very strategically important for successful gifting. The other thing, as you mentioned, and well, I guess picture's worth a thousand words, right? So this is the kind of thing with the Cutco. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
beautiful,
great.
engraved. And
And
then
by
the
the
other,
way, the fact that you're giving it as a gift, don't forget everybody, they are tax deductible. I mean, it is what it is, right?
yeah, and actually, you guys are down there. I'm up in Canada. It's different here, but in the States, in a lot of industries, there's a limit as to how much you can give, like how much a gift can
Yeah.
be for the perception and so on.
Yeah.
But with Cutco, obviously, disclaimer, talk to your accountant and so on. But typically speaking, because it's branded and engraved, it actually
Right.
can be classified as marketing material, and
Correct.
there's no limit on that.
Thank
So
you for mentioning that. That's right.
an interesting benefit.
Yeah.
And then like you said the pop-up cards, handwritten cards, great. And a handwritten card with something that
Yeah. I
pops
mean,
up
that's a
is
game
even better,
changer,
right?
right? I mean, and these things are not like cheesy or anything. They're like super nicely made.
Oh yeah, like these are laser cut engraved. These are tangible. You can feel them. They've got weight to them. This one, my race car.
I love it.
And the big thing with what we do is we're, I would say, the only company in North America that will customize the pop-up itself. So there's generic ones. This is a really nice fancy one. This is the Lady Liberty.
Oh, wow.
You
I
recognize
hadn't seen
that?
that one. That's cool.
Yeah. We've like 400 that we've done. So there's quite, if you can think of it, we've probably done it. But unlike the normal generic pop-up cards where you've got your Mother's Day, you've got your Christmas tree, those kind of things, we actually will custom build the 3D model to whatever you want. Like you and I've
Wow.
talked about, you could do a car, you can do a house, you can do things like logos and I
Mhm.
call those more boring now, but we do well, get into the business card size or the mini ones, but things like this for the trades or the tradesperson. And a little card, but
Hmm.
they've got,
Oh, wow. Check that out. I hadn't seen those, Dean. Those are
oh,
cool. Huh.
yeah. And this is where it gets creative. So this is a company, they've got their van, that's all great. I've talked to a plumber and I said, you know what you need is you need a toilet that pops out of there because you're a plumber, right? It's memorable.
Totally.
It's out. A lot of people into wines and other things, so this is a company that has their own type of wine. They're
I
bottled
love it.
and
Wow.
spent.
That's so cool. And I actually like the little ones better for some reason. For
Yeah,
me,
I
that's,
call them minis. They're business card size.
yeah, yeah, totally.
Heck of a lot more than a
Check it
business
out, man.
airline.
Unbelievable.
And just to wrap up, like I said, to illustrate the breadth and the scariness, I always love showing this one. This is my card now. And here you go, folks. Hello, everybody.
Look, even the side of your head, I love it.
Yeah. And guess what? People don't forget me.
Yeah,
Good
they
bad,
won't.
don't forget me. So that's again another thing that I have yet to have a time when I've showed somebody and they haven't smiled. And that's a pretty
Yeah.
impressive thing to say. and everybody has the same reaction. So you can
Yeah.
kind of extrapolate that if you give somebody something that's cool, that makes them smile, that's special and different, it gives you the response that you want and that's beneficial to you as well.
Yeah, no, I can see why. No, these are super personalized and super memorable. There's no doubt about it that they're going to remember you, Dean. Plus, you really know your stuff and you're very well spoken. So people are going to remember you anyway, regardless. But, this just adds that extra for sure to it. So I'm looking at your screen and you have the overlay of Dean Stanzel
Oh,
top of mind. So, but how do people get a hold of you? Can you just reiterate your email address and your phone number, please?
yeah, for sure. So I'm just like I said, my website is topofmindgifts, plural.ca, because I'm in Canada. My email is dean at topofmindgifts.ca. My phone number, I always joke nowadays, I'm one of those guys that still answers his phone. So my phone number is 306-229-6411. And yeah, like you were saying before, I just found it's nice to be helpful, and if people have
Yeah,
questions about what I do or just in general ideas, I've fortunately been doing this a long enough time that I've seen a heck of a lot, and
yeah,
I certainly don't have the answer for everybody in every situation. So I'm happy to give advice, what little I know, help people on their way because what I think what goes around comes around. So if you're
absolutely.
doing thing, then that's the best first step.
Absolutely. And on that note, my advice to everybody watching is contact Dean. It doesn't matter that he's in Canada, by the way, you can still buy his stuff. Just to
Sure.
put that out there in case you're wondering. No, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Reach out to him because, having a conversation with him also changes the game. Have a conversation with him, tell him what you're looking for, and he'll tell you either point you in the right direction or he'll be able to offer you a product that's really going to make you stand out and be memorable, just like him. So, Dean, thank you so much for investing your time here in this interview. I really, really appreciate it. I think your stuff is so unique, man. It's so great. So, I want everybody to make sure that you reach out to him because it is going to change your gifting game. And don't forget to read Mr. Schmooze. Very,
Schmoo.
very important. Read that book because it is a game changer and it'll set you off on your gifting journey, if you will. All right,
It's
my
a
friend. Have a great day.
experience. Yes,
I really
thanks.
appreciate you.
See you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Take care.